Hallo.
Well, until the actual presenter arrives, and whilst Neve is busy doing her job in the chair, um, you have the pleasure of me for, I don't know, like 5 minutes until Noah decides to get out here. Um, I mean, right off the bat, something I find quite interesting is Brian O'Kearney is back in the chamber. Again, I'll only be here for like 5 minutes and I'll be gone. Sigh of relief. But
What's her name?
quite some notable individuals. I mean, people we've all seen before. I mean, there's only three people here that I've not recognised in a session. I mean, first we've obviously got Francis, who is the proposed Taoiseach, unexpected to come out of nominations tonight as the official Taoiseach of Ireland. Then also, Eamon McGrath, who is the leader of the Social Democrats, unexpected to become the Taoiseach. Then oh, and the Minister for Communities, Culture and Language. Now, this is one of the people I'm not too sure about. I'd have to see his username to see if might be someone in a different avatar. But then we've also got Mr. Sunday, a former Taoiseach, so starting to get high up in these ranks in what are the offices they've held beforehand. Another former Taoiseach here, but more notable this time because he has been Taoiseach quite a few times. True Donald, he ran 2 terms and won both. We've also got a blah blah. I don't care. I think he led
Sorry, what's the speaking time again? Is it 90 or
120 seconds is
120?
usually.
Oh, yeah.
Blah. Yeah, like I said, blah blah. I think he led Fine Gael for a bit. I'm not sure who this guy is. Jane Matter, very outspoken member of the Oireachtas and the organisation he was a part of. I'll quickly wrap this up because Jessie's giving her Kian Caller speech, but we also have Brian O'Kearney, who is former Taoiseach and former leader of the opposition quite a few times, former leader of the Social Democrats. I believe he's under Fianna Fáil. And then finally we had JJ here, but he mostly did. You know, he works with the FAI, I believe, but he also, you know, he did work quite closely with the Social Democrats, being their deputy party leader. Again, I'm just waiting for Noah to show up.
Hopefully. Dan, the stream hasn't started, by the way. You're not streaming.
No, it has.
Can I just not see it?
Oh, sorry. I always think you mean on YouTube. Always worries me. Right. There's been a point of order raised by the Taoiseach in waiting.
I really hate the chair.
I feel like I'd love it, but no one ever voted me into it. Which deputy? Oh. So I'm just going to quickly go down. I'm not sure if everyone wants to see what Oswald has to say about the point of order. about that. Okay, he has withdrawn after a bit of what's it called? Not rebuttal, arguing, but another point of order has been raised.
My God. I don't want to have to eject someone. Who nominated Jesse? Well, it's not on there, so do we move to voting?
Wait, does she not get
Okay.
nominated? What party is she currently representing? Actually, what party's missing? Oh, Labour. Is she a Labour TD?
She's an independent because she was the incumbent.
Oh, right, I see.
I need Lewis to get back to my DM. Is it digital voting? I don't know.
No,
Are we online voting?
I'm pretty sure it's
Because
always
otherwise, because if that means I have to preside for the entire session.
No,
Oh,
it always happens in the same
okay.
session. Like they vote on it, and then
All right.
she steps up and everything. I don't think it's ever been done online. I'd be interested to see how Fianna Fáil Social Democrats will vote, because they are the ultimately the deciders of this. But it does seem quite a few people have piled into the task chamber, but quite a few nil as well. Brian O'Kearney abstaining from this. Another abstination from a frontbencher of Fine Gael. I wonder if Fine Gael will actually set up the spokespersons, because I know the obviously the previous opposition did, but I don't even think the spokespersons did much. Bear with me just a second. I'm trying to find the current sheet. Ah, there it is. Why is Mr. Sunday still listed as the Cahill on the
I don't
little
know.
webhook thing? Oh, 4-0, 12 tar, and 2 abstains. That does mean Jesse is elected for a second term of being the Kian caller. Um, so, I mean, it does seem that everyone was in agreement. Only 2 people voted against it, of her becoming the Kian caller, which I suppose was to be expected. We didn't really have anyone else running, but nonetheless, and I don't think Jesse's been the speaker before these current terms. I'm not.
She has before a long time ago. I think.
Ah,
I believe.
I did think she was, but I don't. I can't find a portrait up here or anything. But either way, she has. I'm not in the duel. But I personally, I'm very happy she's gotten elected again. It's nice to see someone. I mean, people think, oh, Jesse is Kian Caller, and you'd think it'd just be like a big joke, or like the chamber would fall into disarray or something. But no, she's done a very good job, and I think anyone who thought at the start that the chamber wasn't going to run effectively with her, you didn't really know Jessie as well as you may have thought you did. But yeah, she's been personally I think she's been a very good cabinet caller. I also thought Eamon was, but lots of people didn't believe that. I think at least one indisputable term was his first. I think it was agreed then that he was a good can caller, but every politician, every position, you kind of have a shelf life, but that's either by your decision or not when you leave. I mean, for example, Victoria, she still had her shelf life. Like, she was Cathaoirleach for 12 months, but it was ultimately her own decision to leave. Whereas Eamon, he he keeps rerunning, and eventually you just can't get over the hurdle anymore because maybe they don't want you in that position anymore. I mean, I like to say we saw it with Tony Blair in real life, but Eamon is now standing to deliver his nomination speech for Francis. Hopefully, it'll be a lot different than last term, where they tried to nominate the Taoiseach to be Taoiseach. I don't think that something like that could happen anyway. Even if Fine Gael did nominate Eamon, there'd be I don't think there'd be support for it really, or Eamon wouldn't do that. Or at least I hope he wouldn't. But where is?
Well, there is that suspicion that this government might not last, especially with the Social Democrats in it. I'm sure Fianna Fáil can sustain a minority, but uh, the Social Democrats have had two collapsed coalitions in the last term, I think. Yeah, term or two. So obviously there is that suspicion that
Well,
they might not hold it together.
I didn't think they're ready for government, but I mean, actually, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Oh, it's
Well, it's out there now.
too late.
But it's not the end of the world. I think if it is truly detrimental, then they will obviously we'll see the government, the Social Democrats leave. But I personally have faith that maybe it can last.
Hopefully.
And if it doesn't, I don't know what alternatives there are, because I know currently the Social Democrats have outruled Fine Gael. Labour can't put anyone into a coalition. Actually, they could put Fianna Fáil into a coalition, I think. No, because Fianna Fáil they only got 10 seats, not 11. If they had gotten 11, then yeah, they would be the only viable coalition. But I mean, Fine Gael as well, they've been ruled out by Fianna Fáil. Look, for whoever criticises me for how I say Fine Gael, Fine Gael, whatever, there are so many, like, if you look online, there are like so many people who tell you it's done this way or done that way, and eventually they'll just tell you, just say it how you want. Um, Very proudly showing off his faith in his religion. I'm not sure if that's kind of looks like the Orthodox cross to me, but
Mm. The
I don't.
Orthodox cross has the second slanted cross at the bottom.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
But the line.
I know. I just thought like all the spikes coming out of it, kind of.
Look at a Eucharistic monstrous.
How do you
You'll see
spell
what that
that?
is. I think it's a monstrous. Monstrance, monstrance. I think it could be a Eucharistic monstrance necklace. I think it is. Uh,
Yeah,
I'll send you a picture of the monstrance.
okay.
Anyways, veering away from the Catholicism segment, we are now looking at the nomination of Taoiseach with uh,
Currently, the proposed Taoiseach
his name
rising.
Francis. Yeah, the proposed Taoiseach. It's pretty clear that he will become Taoiseach by the end of this session, with his benches outweighing the opposition, unless there has been some evil whipping going on in Fine Gael.
He does have a very strong mandate here, so I don't see Fine Gael wanting to support. Um, yeah, I don't see them wanting to support the Social Democrats for leader anyway, so they wouldn't propose such a motion.
Actually, um, there is no other nominee because Oswald tried to self-nominate, which obviously isn't allowed.
Have they banned nominations happening in game now?
Yeah, it has to happen online,
Okay.
which is a bit like the TDs don't actually know what the other votes are until they're decided. A bit sus, but that's the way they want it. It's the way the group staff want it.
And it should at least be written into the standing orders then, but
Hmm.
but yeah, the circumstances of the last government where obviously you had the Labour Party backstab the Social Democrats at the final turn, um, that what something like that can't happen here because you wouldn't have the support, you don't have the abstentions of an entire party. I mean, in the end, they did get their Taoiseach position, but I don't even know how long it was for. I don't think they lasted a week.
Who? Labour.
Yeah, the Labour.
It was like 3-4 days. Well, if you want to count the outgoing period, then it's longer, but
I
not
would hope.
really.
I would hope that
Um,
Oisin didn't get distinguished citizen for that.
it's the divine right of Taoiseach. Um, anyways, I think it's important to note that every time Oswald has risen, he hasn't said Gramagat, Cian Corla. He hasn't said thank you, which is common courtesy. At
Well,
the
this
beginning
is
of the sitting,
terrible.
he referred to the Cian Corla as garbage. So it's just you know, a little peek into how the term's going to look in terms of Oswald's relationship with the Cian Corla. And we could be looking at another expulsion from the Dáil from him.
Hold on. Why on the Teether and Oireachtas Trello? There's still the United Kingdom sanctions. My offences against the person amendment hasn't got to a waiting.
Probably my fault. I'll fix it. What?
Well, I think
Don't call me out on live again.
no, sorry. I think the delayed by the Shannon one has passed. I'm not entirely sure about that though. It's gonna get
Uh,
it's gonna get amended anyway. I have to speak to Fianna Fáil about that.
well, the term ended, so really, if it was delayed, I'll double check. But if it was delayed, then that means it's gone, and you have to re-table it for
Oh,
it
I
to be
won't
considered
retable it
again.
because I don't think Fianna Fáil liked it.
Wait, is it gone? I don't know. No, did it start in the Shannon? I really don't know.
No, it started in the
I'll
Dáil,
I'll
moved to
have
the
to check.
Shannon.
Oh,
So I had
well,
them
I mean,
all co-signed
It's
for.
Shannon business, so it might still. Confusing. What
But
was the one that hasn't been moved? United Kingdom. That was never allowed. I don't know why that's still on there.
yeah, and the
It was
offence against the
just,
person, that's the one that hasn't been moved over to a waiting. But I
how do I
don't.
how do I delete it? Can I delete a card, or do I have to
I saw you
archive it?
click on it, and then it's just like.
I think I have to archive it.
I'm just gonna quickly take a look at the National Archives.
Some days I'm a woman, some days I'm a man. Like, oh.
I do wonder if it's Oh God, this is the wrong National Archives. Um, it really confused me because I saw like Trudonna was still Taoiseach, and before him it was Valeris. I was like, huh? But no, I'm being the Teeth and Oireachtas church doesn't get updated anymore, really. Right,
I
there we
feel
go.
like the coalition could last because I think the Social Democrats going in with Fianna Fáil this term will give them a leg up for the next election, especially above Labour. I think Labour will be kept down for a while, because they haven't filled either of their two seats, which isn't that hard. But they've got no TDs,
And I
so
do wonder if the because lots of people are talking about Bo becoming the new member of Fine Gael, and lots of people have said she's sort of the reason they won the election. I do wonder if we will actually see something there, whether this so-called coup will actually go ahead, if there even is one. But I, I mean, what's his name? Oswald. He's been leader for quite a while now. I think it must have been 3 elections ago at this point.
the only reason he hasn't been vonked before in that period is because he had how many seats do you have? He had two seats, one.
Yeah, and he
It
didn't
was
have any
one, was
party
it?
members either. The only other
Yeah,
party
he
member was
had
his
one.
deputy leader,
He had one seat in the Dáil,
and one seat in the
and
Shannon.
yeah, and the constitution for the party states that you need two parliamentary caucus members to vonk the leader,
Yeah,
and obviously
only other
one of
one
them
was
was the
deputy.
leader. Yeah, so that wasn't possible, but now it is. So we might see Oswald removed.
It just depends if he can keep the stability, because I don't think we've seen him work as a leader of a proper party like at this size yet. Um, what something's happened to withdraw. Oh no, he's amending instead.
I might go for my dinner.
Oh my
I
God,
don't think I'm needed for the rest of this session.
how has
I'll be
Oisin
back
been in government
tomorrow.
for 19 days?
Right. Oh, I'm going to have my dinner.
Okay, have
If
fun
this
with
is
that.
still on, I'll be back. But keep up the good work, Daniel, and bring someone up if you get bored. Oh, there's Belle.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Guys, I work for RTE. You can't say this when I literally work for RTE as well.
I was actually going to
I'm
blame Neve for bringing her for bringing you up, and then I realised Neve would never torture me like that. Just as soon as she
sorry.
left.
If you carry on, I will have to file a report with RTE because we can't have staff bullying each other, and I think
Well,
that's really rude, Daniel.
I won't be presenting for much longer. As soon as Noah gets
I
here.
didn't. I didn't actually realise there was a session today.
Well, clearly you
So
did because you showed up.
yeah, I was out because I'm not really into Roblox. I'm busy at the moment. So and then I opened Discord and they were like, oh yeah, session's on. So I said, oh, I might as well just go.
Well, Brian's first point of order of the session. And I'm just gonna comment on everything Brian says because he's the person I know best here. Or did. I love JJ. He's probably one of the best, most qualified people in the door right now, and I think one day he could definitely be Taoiseach.
Are you on about the annoying?
No, I'm talking about JJ.
Yeah, that's the bacon.
Yeah, JJ go to Rocket.
Jay's annoying, don't like him.
He's not annoying. JJ is one of the
He
best
is.
TDs you've ever had.
I've never had him as a TD.
He was also a clerk.
Yeah, I think he was like a clerk when I was Taoiseach, because I remember talking to him. Oh, right. The Taoiseach in waiting is doing a very impassioned speech. I can't actually see the speech right now, but
Oh, yeah,
oh
Neve's
my god,
gone.
I'm loving
Oh, Neve, what
the
did you have for
government.
dinner?
Babe, I didn't eat it that quick.
Oh,
Um,
what have you got for dinner?
my father put some lovely burgers on the barbecue.
Ah, I see.
So
I had a burger earlier tonight.
This
Oh, with
this
hash
is
browns as well. It's quite nice.
one of the first times I've ever seen the third bench being used by a government. That is a great sign of activity.
No, if all the seats were filled properly, it'd be 2 rows.
Well, I think a few of them left. But where are the Labour Party?
I mean, I do
That's
find it quite
they haven't
interesting.
got any CDs. They haven't filled their seats.
I find it interesting. Francis is here. Before us because like he was leading Fianna Fáil for like a very short amount of time. I believe after True Donald. I can't fully remember, but I know. I genuinely thought he wasn't going to come back to the position, but then he was back in Fianna Fáil and
what?
everything.
When was he leader of Fianna Fáil?
It was like for a week, and I think the first term after True Donald had resigned. That would have
Yeah, it
been.
was. I beat him
Oh.
in the election, not Sunday, technically.
Oh,
Oh yes,
yeah.
no, because then,
Yeah, I remember that.
because it was Neve, and then Neve versus Francis technically. Then Francis resigned, Mr. Sunday became
Wow.
Taoiseach, and then after he resigned, that's when Erin, then what's his name, Checkmail, and then back to Francis.
No, it was Jack Cosgrave between Mr. Sunday and Erin.
Oh, I never knew he became leader.
Yeah, then Erin pulled a vote of no confidence against him. And then she did the what you call it, the walkout, the boycott, and then she resigned.
That was such
But
a
I
good
just
era.
say, I was the only leader that had the balls to stay after the boycott. So
I can't even remember if he
what?
participated once or twice,
I was literally banned when I was in the boycott GC. It was a great group chat.
It was the time to be alive. Honestly.
What?
If you weren't in the group chat, you just weren't cool enough.
and I find it quite
It was
funny
generally
how.
such an odd place.
Yeah.
It had me, Rachel, Bo, Erin, Sunday, Checkmail, like the most random people in it.
God. Who remembers when Rachel was leader of the
I
opposition and
don't
she didn't
want
want to
to.
ask the question?
I don't.
She was this.
She barely even spoke when she was in sessions. I'm pretty sure.
Her importation campaign, though,
God,
top tier.
she was a terrible leader. I think
She was a great importer.
I think everyone can agree with me. Like, even RTE won't fire me for being biased because she was just genuinely a terrible leader. I'm still so angry. Like when she made that Germany and just sold us. It makes me so angry because it was 100 people and then she just sold them like cattle. Apparently she got like €100 for it as well. God, she infuriated me, shouldn't it? And the fact she ran against Oscar as well.
And she came pretty close.
I mean, it's a good thing she didn't get into government because we saw her performance in the opposition. And opposition is always easier than being in government. Because a lot of these parties would defend themselves, like what's his name, Yuckwook. He'd said that if he got into government, he would have been active. But like, if we're being totally honest, if you're not active in opposition, you definitely wouldn't have been active in government. You can say all you want that you would have been, but chances are you wouldn't have been. Like for the first week, yeah, maybe, but after that,
Well,
I don't know why
led
people
a-
aren't active in opposition, because it's genuinely, it's a gift. You get 2 months to criticize, and you don't really have to do much. They're going to fail your bills anyway, and then you can use that as ammunition against them. You get to make graphics. You get to prepare for your campaign for 2 months, and you have such a free ride, and then you can use it all against them in the campaign. Like, I don't know why
I
people
think
like it's a gift.
I strongly agree with Neve, and that's because I was leader of the opposition for a day. I was literally leader of the opposition for a session, and then we had that massive chaos. I planned everything out week by week. I had a plan. I had an outfit that matched. I had ideas that we were going to talk about, and that's why our debates were so important in the Green Party. And what we saw was chaos, and I could not sustain that. And I think that started a downfall in the Green Party. And now look where it is. It's gone.
oh, who's just been ejected?
Oh, I
Um,
think it was.
Oh, one of I think that's Fine Gael.
What one was it?
I think it was Brian. Was it?
Oh, who am I wheeling out?
Who was
Come
it?
on.
It wasn't Brian because Brian he was the
Oh,
entire
it's
Jerry.
government was cheering it on.
Where
Yeah,
the
Brian
fuck is
didn't-
this guy?
Do track all.
Guys. Far end. Who is D Jerry? Hello?
I think he's the one with like the gingerish kind of hair, sunglasses.
I don't know. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
kick him.
blue suit.
That's me. You idiot. I'm the ginger one.
No, but like he's less ginger. Opposition has said the government is bullying them. I suggest they bring up a ticket regarding that.
Very, very true.
Very true.
I mean, they were bullying the Irish citizens in their campaign, so they didn't have an issue with that.
Well, Dan, I'll just talk about what you said earlier. I'm not queuing Oswald. I think Oswald's a great person, and I don't think I want to queue him at this current moment or any time in the future because he's such a great leader.
Well,
We have. Wait, we have someone who rarely comes up and wants to make a statement.
I did want to
recently-
hear entity, but I wasn't sure if like all of
Yeah.
us would.
It is me. Hello.
Hello.
Entity
I'm
rarely
lots of,
comes up,
like-
so
Oh my!
What are you saying?
Entity rarely comes up, so
I do.
value this moment, guys. Value
It's
this.
because I'm impartial right now. They haven't accepted me back into CNOD yet, so I'll be there soon, and I'll have to silence myself again from the government. Anyways, I just want to say how fucking so I can't swear, how disrespectful Oswald is in this entire situation, not thanking the CC once. Not once. Disrespecting her. Horrific man. Can't even thank his CC. I think he should be gone, honestly. And I say that impartially, though. Obviously.
Do you think the CC's impartial?
Yes, of course she is. She's always been impartial.
Of course, yeah. The
Okay.
CC.
By the way,
she can do no wrong.
Neve, the Shannon sheet is like completely wrong.
Girl. I'll get to it when I get to it, honestly.
Okay.
It'll be done by
No.
Saturday. Don't you worry. Don't
I'm
you
just
worry.
saying,
I literally...
like, there's like Labour still in government, and the Taoiseach nomination is.
Oh yeah, it's just the term in the Shannon is still the same, so like the seat count is the same. I'll
yeah,
just
but the
need to
seats
add
are
a
the same.
divider.
But like, what
Got
Labour and Social
these.
Democrats are teamed up.
Let me just add the divider there.
Is there a session on Friday?
I have
Obviously,
no
yeah.
idea. I really should know, but I don't know, so we'll
There's
find out.
There's
Well-
always going to be a session on Friday for the door.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
there has to be. It's in the standing order.
What day
I'm
is Shanna then?
Saturday.
It's a
Saturday.
Saturday. Oh,
I can't.
I should
can't-
move that.
I think this is the one rare occasion where I can't come because I'm away. I'm in Downing Street and I'm coming home like.
No one cares. No one cares, Bo. Stop
Why
talking about your
Why are
fucking
you in
apprenticeship.
Downing
Stop.
Street?
Stop talking about your
Don't-
apprenticeship. I had enough.
Because I'm a
Okay.
fucking people. I'm a fucking campaign strategist.
What, you
Dan.
can't swear on live TV. It's against the law or something.
It's past.
We need
Rock.
no. We do need a what? We do need a watershed law.
I think it makes TV funnier.
Yeah, but if people
What
just
time
keep
is it?
swearing, then I think it gets
We
And
never
so-
said 8 p.m.
And you were recently removed as a Shanador. Did you
Was
resign
I?
or were you fired? Yeah.
Was I
had to-
removed?
I had to take your seat. Well, the seat change said remove entity, so I was like, okay.
Since when?
I'll send you the seat change if you want.
I think you might
Please
need to have
do.
a
I have
talk
not.
with
I have not been informed. about-
Eamon is actually in the audience right now with his hand raised. We can quickly go and question him about that.
Oh no.
Eamon, are you
Yes,
bringing
thank
back
you, yes,
entity
good
for
evening.
another term?
Yes, Entity will be returning. I'm just going to reshuffle my Shenadry next week, because we had this thing where the Shenadry term ends at a different time. So yes, I can guarantee that Entity will be returning to the Shenid.
Okay, I'm
This
gonna
will
put
be
you down
my
just for now. Later, I'll
third
probably bring you
year.
back up once I don't know, someone from Fianna Fáil raises their hand. I don't want to get called biased for bringing up two Social Democrats at the same time. But
Well, it's not biased. They just don't have much to say.
I mean, if any Fianna
Sorry.
Fáil representatives want to come up, please raise your hand. I see Francis is in chat, but we also not chat.
Sunday was raising his hand earlier.
Yeah, but he's not
you
not
put it
here
down?
anymore. Oh no,
I
we've got
think
True Donald.
blah blah just and True Donald.
Oh, True Donald, please come up.
Okay, Entity, thank you for coming up.
How are you,
here.
everyone?
See,
How are you,
I'll see
everyone?
y'all in CNOD when I am no longer impartial and able to speak my shit.
Well, hopefully we'll see you later. I suppose we can bring Eamon up as well then if we're gonna have all the parties up here.
Just bring up Sunday. Bring up Sunday.
Bring them up, actually. Bring them all up.
Okay, if we bring up
Sunday had
Yeah,
beautiful.
if we're
actually,
gonna
good
bring up
evening,
Sunday,
good
though,
evening.
you are gonna have to go down, Donald.
Sunday,
That's okay
are
with
you
me. That's
okay.
okay
Sunday,
with me.
are you
Sunday
gonna-
can come up.
are you gonna build an alligator Alcatraz? Where's he gone?
Oh no,
From
he
Leinster
said to
House.
bring Sunday up instead, so I'm gonna.
Oh,
quickly,
okay. Sunday. Quick
Hello?
question. Will we see a return of the Ministry for Prisons and Internment?
In some form, we are seeing, since God was good, we're seeing a return of domestic affairs. So we're going to have defense and domestic affairs, one department. And if people need to be interned, people might need to be interned, but that'll be done legally, by the legal people, by the Gardaí.
Oh, pardon me.
We won't have prisons anymore, though, because they said, well, what's the point? We're not allowed to kill people. They said no executing people.
And we said,
So-
well, they're trash. They're worthless.
Well, that's
And
quite.
then afterwards, they were saying, I wish we could execute people, but, we can't.
I was
we
actually
would
gonna
have
Yeah,
had
it's
ask
Brian
like
that.
O'Keefe top dad.
but
What?
may I just actually point out one thing here now during the session and during the sitting? I think what we have seen from the opposition has been very I wouldn't say dishonest, but very inappropriate behavior already during the first sitting. And I think the Dáil does not deserve this. We do not deserve this, nor do the Irish people. And I think now it would be good for the deputies opposite to actually look in the mirror and actually think, what are they doing? Are they, protecting democracy or trying to just destroy and dismantle it? They have already criticized the Ken Corla multiple times during the sitting, which I don't think is okay based on the reasons they did that for. But I would just want to, for the Irish people to be more interested in what is going actually on there in the Dáil, because it's a very important matter tonight being discussed, but I don't think the debate should be like this. And this isn't really a debate. This is some sort of own show from Fianna Fáil that they are trying to somehow magically defend themselves from some sort of monster which they are now, putting the government into.
I wanted to quickly go to Mr. Sunday. With this Department of Domestic Affairs and merging defence, what will this department look like? I know previously, I'm pretty sure you had it was either the Interior or the Domestic Affairs Department, and it had the Garda, it had the National Ambulance Service. Will it be the same this time? Will anything be different?
We had both. We had the interior first, and then we changed that to domestic affairs when the real life Fianna Fáil had a wonderful idea to make a department of domestic affairs. So we said we're going to do that here too. But we'll have the army. We're going to have the army defence. That's the defence part, and then we're going to have Gardaí in it as well. We were going to have immigration, but I think that's being privatised by group staff, and we're going to leave the ambulances with communities because it's really about community care, making sure everyone's healthy. So that's staying in communities. We already have a server for it and everything, though. We have a domestic affairs server. It's going to be going to need to be renamed Defence and Domestic Affairs, but it's already there. We're ready to go. We're going to come back much stronger this time.
I mean, I'm personally happy to hear that. Not defence, domestic affairs has always been my go-to portfolio. But
What?
I find it interesting you're not including the National Ambulance Service, though it was included last time.
You could see the Domestic Affairs Department as like a national security department.
Yeah, but I'm
Yes. We're
starting
going to have
to
to put them on
compare
the
it to
National
Home
Security Council. That
Secretary.
seems like a fitting place for them. And we're going to need to get a hand on this northern situation. I mean, can you believe that I think it was Oisin, it could have been Epic Noah, one of them, they said we're going to make the INLA a terrorist organization, national security threats, but they didn't make that with the UVF. It's kind of insane when you think about it.
No, it's
We're
definitely
going to make
not.
sure these people are
Sunday.
held accountable.
Regarding Óglaigh na hÉireann, will Fianna Fáil and the Social Democrats be changing the leadership of the Defence Forces? Will you be changing the Chief of Staff?
I think Huey himself said that we would during one of those election shows or whatever. He said we wanted to change the leadership because, I mean, you saw during the election campaign, he said everyone vote Labour, and I mean, I feel sorry for the people that voted Labour. They don't even have a single TD appointed, but you can't have those politically aligned people in those positions of power. It's just not right.
And have you got a replacement aligned?
This is I would say this is OSA material, but we can't really call it OSA until after this vote is over. So we're keeping our cards close to our chests.
You have concepts of a replacement.
Some may say that. Some may say. Some have said like Donald Trump. He had concepts and he got elected, so it's working well so far.
Truth nuke.
Sorry, can I do a wrap up or something? I wasn't expecting to be here for 45 minutes.
I just have to say that it's actually pretty much a very, fruitful debate. I have to say, take that with a bit of irony, but I just have to say that now we have many former TDs also returning, which is great to see. But for example, the former Taoiseach that's sitting on the government bench. I'm happy to welcome Brian back to the chamber on these very benches, and I think he's gonna, provide some good advice also to the leadership in government. I'm sure he will do that.
I find it interesting. Quickly, you bring up having quite a few former Taoiseach and Taoiseachs on your benches. Don't you think that all these politicians, they're just getting reused and recycled because there's no one to replace them? Wouldn't many people argue this is becoming a problem rather than a good thing?
Well, I think it's good to have, experienced politicians and also the newbies in the chamber. And the balance currently of this the 31st Oireachtas is pretty balanced, I would say, and I think it's going to be a good term, and I hope we can get also some stuff done in cooperation with the opposition. As you know, me and the the Taoiseach in waiting have said that we are ready and willing to work with the opposition as well on things that we share, but it requires mutual it requires mutual approach to that cooperation, and I'm still waiting to see that from Fine Gael and the Labour Party that is pretty much non-existent at this point.
Well, I would say that the parties like the Green Party, I did know, had a lot of new TDs when they were in opposition, like V Haddy. V Haddy was a strong TD. Verified Glory actually switched from the Labour Party after being a new TD, and so did Fofi. So I do think there's a lot of new members, but there's a lot of old members like Mr. Sunday, like Brian, and like True Donald, which
Like you.
it just brings. Well, I wouldn't say I'm an old politician, but I would say it's a nice blend within the Oireachtas, and I think it's going to be a really nice term. I'm not old. I'm not old.
So can we just quickly bring attention to Brian's speech here? Brian saying, because I vividly saw Francis manning the front in relation to the British, Irish Independence War, armed with a gun, ready to repel the invaders. And this is such a passionate and strong speech in support of Francis. And it brings a tear to my eye seeing Brian talk like this again, since he's gotten his capabilities of speaking back. He said, for Oswald, he was eating caviar on a private jet. Another thing I want to mention, it's quite nice to see that he is able to keep walking. I thought he had too many medical conditions for that, but he is on his 2 feet still, so you have to commend him for that. He continues saying, he laughs at our crying children, but we are going to give our children hope. And I think that's a very strong message, especially for our children, which all of us definitely have. He said that he's going to give our children jobs, potentially hinting at a Fianna Fáil supporting child labour, getting them back into the mines. And every day they can wake up with patriots in control. Obviously, I'm not too sure if we should be concerned about what's going to happen with our children now, but I would be keeping them out of education and out of the government's oversight. Oh, True Donald has actually raised quite a good point there. How can they afford to get things from the candy store? They must be in the mines. And I 100% agree with this message. I think more children should be able to be getting jobs. And it's honestly actually such a great thing that Fianna Fáil are trying to create, this opportunity for children to, earn a living wage. And what Brian has said has just constantly reiterated and strengthened that point. And honestly, I think we should be commending Brian O'Kearney again and again. He has been doing quite well this session. And there's quite a lot good going on.
Well, I would say that the only person that's like a kid in a candy store is Eamon, because, they didn't want to have coalition talks with Fianna Fáil. Then they voted on it, and now they reintroduced coalition talks, and now they're forming another coalition. It's just same leader, same ideas, same type of government. Just this time, they're not leading the government. They're the minor party, and I think
you look like you spent your entire childhood in a candy store. So I don't know why you're speaking on this.
God.
It was either the Social Democrats or we'd have these crazy Fine Gaelers in government, and no one wants these Fine Gaelers in government. Their own voters, they didn't know what they were voting for. I mean, I think you've seen the screenshot as well. That this person, they didn't even have a manifesto. It was insane.
I think you must be crazy. I'm not the crazy one, because Fine Gael has clear policies on what we stand, and what we were actually doing. We were making the campaign personal. You were making it non-personal. It's about people voting based on what they want to vote for, not on what is actually going to happen.
For people to know what they want to vote for, they need to see what they're voting for, and they just
didn't know what they voted for. That's the point. That's the truth.
So by harassing people to the point where they had to block them to get Oswald to shut up, that's how we should be making our citizens vote. That's how personal we should be getting.
Sorry, no
Yeah,
one.
I know someone
yeah,
who has people
I
vote.
just want to ask.
I remember their name. It began with A in the first letter, and in the second name it began with a H.
So what was that?
Ahmed what?
No, the second name began with a H.
Ahmed.
Yeah,
I
Ahmed.
love saying
Anyway.
Ahmed.
I just want to, as the social democratic leader, I just want to, pressuring voters in another way or suppressing their own will in any other form or way is very much condemnable. And I would say as a leader of a party, I have seen evidence of these actions that Fine Gael have been taking, in voters' DMs, harassing and trying to convince the voters to change their vote, uh, using means that are close to inappropriate and very questionable, is simply an utterly disgraceful. And the people didn't have even a guarantee that what they were voting for. The press couldn't scrutinize your policies because you did not simply have any.
Well, I actually projected better policies than you did in the debate, and the evidence is clearly there. You have no ambition for the judicial system. You don't want to support smaller countries with less judicial infrastructure. You don't care about other countries. And, that's why your deputy leader is a Gibraltar sympathiser. He's not condemned what the Gibraltar people have done to the Irish people.
Pardon, can
And
we
he's
just,
been taking a part in that.
Can we just pause there for a second? It has been brought to my attention that unfortunately Brian has very recently entered a wheelchair. It seems that he has just lost his ability to walk, and my condolences are with him and his family. I'm not sure how easy it'll be to look after him now. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate to see halfway through the door he just lost his walking ability.
And also, Brian O'Kearney is wearing an asexual pin.
This isn't a roast school. Why are we normalizing this?
Normalizing what?
Why-
Being disabled?
We are not. We can't normalize this on Roblox. Come on, guys.
We can't
This is
normalize being
too far.
disabled on Roblox.
This just in, Bo is ableist.
Yeah, there's a
Right.
limit. You can't role play. I've always said this. You can't role play a disability.
But I
Bo,
wear a sunflower lanyard. Is that role playing in Roblox? Is that role playing a disability?
That is role.
Rumor has it Fine Gael policy would have meant your service dog was going to be shot in the head, Sam.
Mine?
Yeah.
What policy are they writing?
Eradication of rabies carrying animals.
I'm telling you now, she does not have rabies.
Well, we don't actually
She's
know.
been near you, Dan.
You haven't put her through any tests, have you? You haven't put her through
I
any
don't need
tests.
to.
So, well,
She's too
you know,
kind.
we don't know.
None other dog would ever bite her.
That's not exactly true.
What's Action T for?
Steve Darling's dog got bit by another dog, and she was covered in blood. Poor Jenny.
Oh right, okay.
No.
No.
It's the Keir Starmer.
I'm very sorry for bringing up that euthanasia program. I didn't realise that was what it was.
Bringing a stupid dog.
No,
right.
It's something true Donald said in chat. I didn't realise what it meant.
Oh, there's a lot of attendance at the back. Oh, V Haddie's in the back. I love V Haddie. V Haddie is my favourite.
You always talk about her, and I don't know why.
V Haddie is a talent.
Do you mean Gagatron Maxima?
Yeah, well, V Haddie. So V Haddie is probably one of my favourite former Green Party TDs. She's a diva. She's a really good communicator. When you actually meet her, you will instantly fall in love with her. She's just a genuine, kind soul, and it just shows the relationships that political parties can build. And I think that's really important for politics. especially as it's so polarized nowadays. But yeah. Oh, who's speaking? I can't see. Hold on.
I think Francis was just saying something there. But...
Oh.
Yeah, point of
So
order.
wait,
But...
so has the leader of the Labour Party resigned?
Oswald has just been ejected
Oh,
from the chamber,
the
marking
leader of the
his first
opposition.
ejection.
On the very first session, the leader of the opposition has been ejected from the chamber.
What? Oh no, this reminds me. Remember when I used to get ejected? Remember when I walked out twice?
I don't think it was that funny. I think it was quite a serious situation,
It,
actually.
well, I walked out during the border debate, and then I walked out again during. I think it was just some random vote. I just walked out because I was speaking to my chief whip.
I do truly
Ejection
wonder the
form.
people you surround yourself around. Like, who's telling you that walking out in the middle of a session is just a great idea?
Well, I was trying to contact my chief whip to talk about the next vote that was going to happen. It was very important, Dan,
That
and
is
that's because the Green.
That is Fine Gael's second ejection of this session, leaving their party with 2 strikes on the first session.
What? Who else got? Oh yeah, the
I
other
think,
person got ejected.
Dan, if
Oh, you've
if I
cut off
might
Anyway.
may just yes, thank you. So I think this
A
just
deputy
purely
has just
shows
walked
that
out.
how
A deputy has just walked out.
this is
You see, I'm
very
getting
typical of Fianna Gael. I just have to say this shows what their policies are. There isn't any. They're just trying to cause chaos and more chaos, and then use that chaos to actually, enable themselves to gain ground on the political spectrum and on the political field. And I think what this is actually prohibiting democracy, undermining the King Corla, undermining the practices and the dignity of the Dáil, and I think this is utterly shameful, and this should be condemned, not just by the government, but also other parties. And,
Right.
if I
Fine
don't
Gael
see,
Fine Gael has received their 3rd strike as TD Verified Glory walked out of the chamber.
Oh, hold on. Do we want to hear
oh,
Oswald speak, because he is raising his hand.
Yeah.
He has just been ejected. Thank you, Mr. Sunday and Eamon, for being up here. After Oswald, we'll hopefully have an exclusive interview with Brian O'Kearney to truly understand the disability he has gained.
You can come back up, but we can't have 2 FG on the stage. Come
I
back
am
up
not
after Oswald. Babe, you're sat on the bench.
Oh,
Nice.
wait, no, I didn't mean to invite her to speak. Whoops. Decline that, please. Thank you. Oswald, you've been ejected. What do you have to say?
I'll just say a few things. I would just say that the Can Corla is completely corrupt. She's completely biased. She's completely partial. You can obviously see the opposite benches. You just heard Eamon McGrath give his old spiel about how our benches are somehow unruly, when in reality the government has been going absolutely wild, berserk, in fact. So, quite simply, this is not a proportional response, as I said earlier. You could see the Can Corla, she was saying final warning to Fine Gael, when in reality we said very little during the whole session. It was the government who were stirring the whole situation up.
Well,
So,
I would like to see the screenshots.
all in all, I think it's quite rich for Eamon McGrath, of all people, to be saying things like that.
Right, I see. So, I mean, if you this stream is obviously it's available to everyone. From what I can remember, you can tell me I'm wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll drop the question. But From what I
Obviously,
saw,
you're biased as well, but yeah.
okay. But a lot of Fine Gael people, TDs, a lot of them were speaking out during the session, and whilst the Social Democrats and the Fianna Fáil, they were doing that too.
So I
But
received
I'm going
I
to focus on
received
Fine
the
Gael
ejection.
here. But
I received the ejection.
another TD received the ejection as well, because many members of your benches were misbehaving and acting unruly. So, I mean, again, if you really think I'm wrong, I can drop it. But I think if you just look back in the stream, you can see there's so many Fine Gael TDs just not behaving themselves, constantly speaking over.
But let's be clear. The government were calling members of Fine Gael Maoists and Nazis. So we cannot just simply say that Fine Gael. I mean, what did we say? What did we say throughout the whole session that was so bad that warranted 2 ejections? To my knowledge, there's nothing. Quite simply,
I mean, apparently
this
we
is all
received.
just a complete sham orchestrated by the Ceann Comhairle. And frankly, I think it's disgraceful how she's using a position which is meant to be impartial to circumvent the correct proceedings of the Dáil.
Well, I thank you for your time there. We have given you your mandated time as a party leader. Now I will bring up a far more interesting interview. Brian O'Kearney, just prepare your ears for his microphone. It's very powerful and loud, you know, just projects his voice and everything. Brian, I believe you're with us. Give him a
Bless
minute.
him.
I think this disability is hitting really. Oh,
Yes, yeah, I am.
have you got? First off, have you gotten a new microphone since the last time you were up here?
No,
Okay, I just thought there was a lot
No.
less stuff in the background. I mean, what happened? Why have you suddenly lost your ability to walk halfway through the session?
you know, my speech, if you can't remember it, it was such a beautiful speech that it took a bit of my life force away, and I just, took a lot of energy to become such a great orator. Is it what it is? Orator. Orator. It took a lot of energy, and that's why losers like you can't do it as well as me.
So I must lose the ability to walk to be able to deliver such a powerful speech. I mean, your words, they were very powerful. They even made me shed a tear. They made True Donald shed a tear. Just that speech about Francis going into the battles, reportedly going into the battles. I mean, do you know if Francis ever lost his legs in the war?
I've seen one of his legs there robotic. He took some bullets for this country, and he's gonna take some bullets in Marion Street. I can tell you that one.
So he will be supporting those with disabilities in Ireland, or will he be spitting on them, removing their benefits, etc.?
Why would we spit on them? They're good for GDP.
So so how is your party going to support these people with disabilities, especially like yourself, who are missing legs and such?
Well, we're gonna, do some great things. Just we're gonna give them their jobs. We're gonna give them a lot of jobs.
Oh,
And they're no longer gonna get any benefits, but they can get a job in a coal mine instead. So it's gonna be beautiful for
oh
them.
yes, that reminds me. So you spoke about our children, getting jobs and everything. What do these jobs entail? I mean, obviously the coal mines, I think that's just to be expected. But will they also be joining our military?
Look, we're gonna explore every avenue. We're gonna have a lot of we're gonna need a lot of people. And, I can't say it right now because maybe the United Nations will say it's illegal or something, and I don't want that right now. So, maybe and maybe not. I can't say. You'll see.
Well, it was lovely to hear that very passionate
But
speech from Fianna Fáil about supporting our children and getting them into these jobs to help build up our economy and teach them about working a job and letting them have the money. But
I
thank you,
never said we
Brian.
were gonna teach them.
Oh, so we're not going to teach them how to work. We're just going to put them into it.
Why would we teach them? That's what losers do.
Okay, well, I think we are
You know,
having
and you
our
could.
education system abolished. Neve, I would be running away with as much of your assets as I could. I mean, Brian, do you have anything else to say to the audience?
Oh yeah, I just want to laugh at Oswald real quick. I think it's quite funny how he got ejected and he's taking a leaf out of my book, which might be smart because I was a very good leader of the opposition. Some would say the best.
Well, thank you for those very true and passionate and kind words. I think especially his time as leader of the opposition, I would say it was something interesting. I'll put it at that. It was interesting. I will leave you with this final statement being delivered by Eamon. He says the Social Democrats utterly condemn the accusations of bias on the Kian caller during the sitting of the 2nd of July. It is not only the undermining of democracy and the dignity of the Oireachtas and its members, but also sets a very dangerous precedent to criticise the actions of an impartial chair who is serving the interests of all members in this chamber. The Kian caller has the full support of the Social Democrats Oireachtas caucus. So I will leave you there. Oswald, I did see you crying in general chat how I put you down for Brian. And honestly, I had a lot more fun talking to Brian, so come shoot me or something, I don't know. Other than that, I don't really care. I'm not hired to present. I won't get told off for this. But until then, thank you all for watching this broadcast. Neve, any final remarks?
Well, we might as well stay on because I'm having the nominations flying through. We'll have the results in a
Okay,
bit.
I was kind of planning to play a game with my friends at this time, but no, okay, that's fine.
Oh, no time for that, sorry.
Just please make it quick.
Just bring someone up. Talk to them.
Oh, DJ Murray, DJ Monkey, he got ejected, so it will give Finn and Gale more of their speaking time. Hello. Are you with us? I think we're having some technical difficulties now.
Yeah.
Oh, there
I'm
you
right.
are.
Sorry.
Well, you were one of the members ejected from the chamber today. Do you think that this was truly your fault, or that this is some kind of witch hunt against Finn and Gale?
This is really unfair, and that's corruption.
Oh,
Because
how is
my
it corrupt?
ejection wasn't really necessary.
Why was it not necessary? What's your argument? Say it wasn't.
There was really no need to, eject me. I'm speaking the truth. They are not. Brian's speech, I think it was awful.
Oh, okay. I don't really know what to say to that.
Everybody's speeches on that bench was awful. They were talking with disrespectful and disgusting mouths. I don't think they know what they're even talking about.
Well, hold on. I have just had some clarification that you were ejected for refusing to withdraw a statement. Accusing someone of lying. Do you stand by that decision?
Yeah,
So why didn't you
they
withdraw
are
the
lying.
statement?
They are not really speaking the truth.
But even if they had accused you of lying,
If I was going to, but I did not have a speech ready.
but even if they were, even if the government, they were saying that you were lying and everything, they'd be treated with the same courtesy. They'd still be ejected as well for for accusing someone of lying and not withdrawing. So why is it unfair and corrupt specifically for you when the same course of action would have been taken for the government benches?
They need to be ejected. They even speaking the truth. They were speaking lies. They don't even know what they're doing.
So they should be ejected for lying.
Yes.
What exactly did they lie about during that session?
They've not done nothing at all.
But no, that's not what I'm asking. What have they been lying about?
They've been lying about everything they've been doing.
What specifically?
What specifically?
Yeah, but what have they
Them
lied
knowing
about?
what politics are.
Knowing what?
The biggest, fattest phonies. They lie. They lie about everything. They even straight up lie to your face.
But what do they lie about?
On that guy's disability. Brian's speech was not even that good. It was terrible.
I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with this. I mean,
You know
your
what?
leader
Have
was.
yourself a great day.
Oh, okay. Right. I wasn't actually gonna send him down. I was just gonna ask him another question. But do we have the nomination results yet?
Not yet.
Oh, can't you just post it in Oireachtas or something? I do actually have a life to get back to.
Okay, you can end the stream.
Okay.
I'm not going to do a fucking speech anyway. I wasn't going to, but I thought
Okay,
it might
I'm
be
really
nice to
sorry,
get on live.
everyone who's watching the stream. I mean, you can just assume that Francis is gonna become Taoiseach. If he doesn't, then I will obviously Ireland can vote to do something terrible to me for ending the stream when Francis wasn't actually going to become Taoiseach. But anywho, I'm going to go now. It was lovely seeing you all again. Don't expect me to be presenting very often, especially not after today's stream. A lot of what I said, I think it's too heavy hitting, too truthful for some people to take. But anyway, that will be all from me for now. So until I don't know, next time.